Welcome to The Leader's Edge. We say we want change. We say we want growth. We say we want opportunities. But are we willing to do what it takes to get those things? In this episode, we'll spend some time unpacking how Dale Lutchman embraced discomfort to become a leading voice of impact in retail, media, and logistics, and how he continues to do that today. Along the way, I'm sure Dale will share with us what made him successful across such varied industries and tips that we can use in our own work and life situations. And before I invite Georgia to properly introduce Dale, I invite you to take a moment to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 means you're taking some risks and putting yourself in places or situations of relative discomfort, and 1 means you're playing it safe. So just rate yourself on that scale. And in the meantime, Georgia is going to introduce our lovely guest, Dale Lutchman.
Good morning, Emily. I would love to introduce Dale if he were on the screen. Yay, he's back. Dale,
I am
Emily,
back.
I think Dale got a little uncomfortable and he decided to exit, but now he's back. All right, Dale, wonderful. It is so good to have you. Now, there are a few people I'm
Thank you.
sure who have not seen Dale's face on LinkedIn. Very few people. And I'm speaking specifically to those of you, those few people who have never seen him. So, Dale Lutchman is a transformative leader in customer experience. He's worked in brand development as well and in also strategic communications. Digital marketing is his landscape. And how many of you know that he was a radio announcer? Yes, with Boom Champions. But now Dale is the vice president of customer experience, and now he's now championing customer experience with Ramps Logistics, and he has oversight across 7 countries, right across the Caribbean region. So Dale is with us this morning to talk about discomfort. Dale, it's a
Amazing.
Monday morning. Nobody likes discomfort, particularly on a Monday at 7 o'clock. Why, Dale, should we even
Correct.
think of embracing discomfort? The floor is yours.
Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning, Georgia and Emily, and thank you for having me this morning. It's been a real honor when I got the call because, I see the lovely work you guys are doing to really provoke thought and develop leadership thinking across the LinkedIn platform, and it is very much needed and welcomed, especially on this platform. So, Georgia, I actually disagree. I think that, people love to embrace discomfort on a Monday morning. People set resolutions at the start of the year, and yet still on a Sunday after eating the macaroni pie, fried rice, the callaloo, and the stew chicken, they say, "I'm starting my diet on Monday." It didn't go well all the year, but I'm starting on Monday. You hear them say, "I'm going to the gym Monday," because Monday it's the reset day for the week. Sunday
That's
they
true.
still take to recalibrate, even though the week
Yes.
really starts on a Sunday. But
Yes.
everybody wants to start back the new routine on Monday. I'm gonna stop drinking on from Monday. I'm gonna stop do this from Monday. So I think it's the perfect day to talk about the discomfort and people who made the decision that they're not gonna let the year pass them by, and the things they've set their heart for 2025 that they probably didn't do any real work on for the year, that wants to start on a Monday.
Excellent.
Yes.
I think that's the best start we've had, Emily, on a Monday morning. The best start. Great.
A great reminder.
Yeah, a great reminder. Dale, and this is just an important point now for you to jump in to tell us how you have practically embraced discomfort.
Yeah, so uh, if I had to give people the true genesis of it, it's
Mhm.
during primary school. I went from a place where, from as maybe first year, which is as far as I could, no, sorry, standard one, which is as far as I could remember,
Mhm.
straight up to writing common entrance back then in 1998. I was either first, second, or third.
Mhm.
I came from a lower to middle income home. My dad was a security guard and then saved enough to buy a car and was delivering pizza or Royal Castle and so forth. He was a delivery driver. My mother was a housewife. I was one of 3 kids. So you can imagine what the socioeconomic thing was. And either way, my dad would save, and he did this for all my other siblings and say, "Hey, first, second, or third in test, you get the bike or you get this." So it was always something to look forward to, and I was conditioned
Mhm.
like that, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I came from a place, first, second, or third, every single test for 5 years of my life, valedictorian at school, playing cricket at school, reading competitions, the Clico reading and competitions on a national level at primary school. And then I enter
Mm-hmm.
secondary school and I enter presentation college Chagonas with the creme de la creme. And while I
Mm-hmm.
thought I did good, that first end of term exam, I placed 30th out of 35 children.
Oh,
Wow,
I
that's a
couldn't
shocker.
begin I couldn't begin to wrap my mind around how to go home with this report book and tell my parents from top
yeah.
three to bottom five.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I couldn't accept that I was just among the creme de la creme of Central, where the
Mm-hmm.
smartest were converging and I was no longer the star of the show. I was
Mm-hmm.
also battling puberty, and only now that I'm 39, I'm reading a book by Stephen De Leon. He's a manager at Hyatt Trinidad, and he wrote a book about responding with grace, responding to life's daily challenges.
Oh,
And in the
nice.
first part of the book, he talks a lot about puberty and the importance of people and how difficult it is finding yourself. All of this
Mm-hmm.
to get to the point where, for the first 3 years of presentation college, I really struggled. My academics, my cricket career. I mean, I was making the team, but I was more on the water boy side. I didn't make the regional central zone team, and all those things. I just kept feeling like I was losing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I felt, and for someone who my mom would drag to church on a Sunday morning, I felt like God was forsaking me. And as a teenager,
Yeah.
you want to go to church less and less. So I don't know what possessed me, but I felt a calling to read the Bible. And
Mm-hmm.
in Form 3, I read the Bible from start to finish. I took about a
Wow.
year and a half. I took about a year and a half and I was reading one chapter per day, right? A lot of it the first time around meant gibberish to me, and I couldn't understand some of the things, especially in the Old Testament. But you know what
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
stood out to me? One of the greatest ways to find self or to open your arms and your heart to God is through prayer and fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a bit of one, which is prayer, but not necessarily fasting. And then came that chapter in my life from Form 4 onward, where I started with things like Lent. I was being a little more diligent with Lent and not
Mm-hmm.
just doing the no meat, no alcohol. I
Mm-hmm.
started doing things differently, and throughout the year, whenever I felt myself in a rut and looking for God and looking for answers, I would do
Mm.
a fast.
Mm-hmm.
And fasting became an integral part of my life throughout my career. And during times, getting swept up with my first job, being on radio, going out there, late nights, I gave up some of that. And there was something in me that always provokes me whenever I feel like I'm drifting and I don't know my direction or I've lost my sails to
Yeah.
start back a fast. And in
Mm.
2024, it was one of the hardest years post pandemic for the company. We came out of some legal challenges in Guyana. We were losing staff. We were forcing people to come back to the office to get a hold of it as a leadership team.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying
Yeah.
to hold on to clients by their leg. So it was really challenging. And I decided, when last did you do a proper fast? When last did you really try to recenter and refocus? Because on any given day, we all feel like we're doing our best with the eight
Yeah.
hours or 24 hours that we have.
That's it.
We feel like we come with a plan, we gun it, we eat the best we could given the circumstances. We were the best parents given our short temper because we were temperamental. We gave our best as employees because it's
Yeah.
really hard to look inward. And
Yeah.
Yes.
through that, I took the last month of 2024 to really think about how I want to challenge myself to 2025. And I started with what I was trying to achieve.
Good.
Wow,
And there came Emily. There came the running. So you want to talk about that, Emily?
yeah. Well, I mean, Dale. I mean, yeah. So I'm loving that you express how how I guess you became rooted and grounded in
Yes,
back in your beliefs to sort of come back to, as you said, to find back your position, your direction, and all of that.
yes. Find the
How fast?
center.
I mean, I think it's amazing in the fact that, I mean, I don't think I've tried to read the Bible, and I don't think I ever did. So at Form 3, I really commend you for that. And and then so out of the fast in November, you said you were telling us about how you came up with this plan for 2025 to reinvigorate yourself, to reinvigorate your mind, to just make changes for I guess and re-energize certain parts of you. So I
Yes,
think that is where you were going next with the
Correct,
story.
correct.
yes. So
Yeah.
you're moving out of the comfort zone, Dale, and you're taking us now on that journey.
Well, the relative
So
comfort, because I think there was some discomfort there that he wasn't
Yes,
really
that's
happy
true. That's
about.
true.
correct, correct.
Fasting is not the most comfortable thing.
It isn't. It isn't. So as I was mentioning to you both when we did the pre-call, from the outlook, um, I'm married. I have two beautiful kids. They're growing up well. I have a home. My mortgage, my finances is under control, and I live a relatively comfortable life. So, somebody, my friends joke with me and ask me if I'm going through a midlife crisis that they're not seeing, right? Like, why am I doing this to myself on a weekend? And really and truly, they everything was going good, everything was going fine, but I still feel like there was something missing, some level of discipline, right? So before you can really embrace discomfort in a realistic way, there needs to be an honest audit done, right?
Hmm.
You really need to audit yourself. And it's really easy to pat yourself on the back and to deflect. And as I was saying, to say, well, this happened. That's why I couldn't. I did the best I could in this situation. And I'm not asking you to be too hard on yourself because as the Desiderata poem says, be gentle with yourself. You're a child of God. So
Hmm.
we have to balance being gentle with ourselves, but also at the same time doing a reality check.
Yeah.
So my mom would have passed from a heart attack. My dad is diabetic for like 40
No.
plus years. So now having these kids that I want to live for and live a fulfilling life for, I
Hmm.
started doing my blood work more frequently. My most recent blood work came back pretty good, but my cholesterol isn't where it should be, right?
Hmm.
And then I wasn't feeling like I should. So that was the first thing, my health. How I wanted to feel in the clothing that I was wearing, as well as to make sure everything under the hood was okay. And the
Yeah.
Yes.
cholesterol wasn't where it wanted to be. Now, I totally abhor going to the gym. I don't like the smell. I don't like exercise. I don't like weights. I don't like those things. So I tried building a home gym, right? And I cannot tell you how much dust the bike, the boxing bag, the treadmill, and all those things have gathered, right?
Mm.
Um, yeah, so the dust mites use it way more than me. So then I
Yes.
said, okay, what is gonna get you going? I say, I like road running, but I still wouldn't just get up and leave my family's bed and go run in the street or go and run in the savannah near my home on my own. But you know what? I real cheap when it comes to spending on myself. So if I commit to a 5K, even though it's just 100 or 120 TT dollars per race, I will feel bad about spending that money and I would go. So
And not
therein
go.
came the plan, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I always like numbers. I like the significance of numbers. So I said, you know what, Dale? If you want to get this in a shortcut type way, do 25 Ks for 2025 and the
Hmm.
5 in 2025 only drink alcohol 5 days for the year because those are the two most important things, cardio as well as alcohol, that is affecting my metabolism, that is
Yeah.
affecting my
Yes.
cholesterol where I want to be. And I
Yes.
know that if I'm doing 25 Ks in a 52-week year, chances are, it's not perfect. I'm not exercising every week or 3 days a week, but
Hmm.
I think it would bring about some greater discipline and change, even in my eating, even if I don't prepare and do any pre-exercise for the race. So I
Okay.
did that. I took the leap of faith, but I didn't do it on my own because I made that decision in January 31st, prayed about it for my New Year's resolution, and guess what? January came and happened. I was really busy at work with Energy Conference, which is a huge engagement for us. into Guyana Energy Conference, into Carnival, into Easter, and I made every excuse in the book, right? But my
This
two
is where the
best
story
friends,
comes out.
yeah, this is my two best friends, Alex and Rudy. They kept asking me in the WhatsApp chat, hey, how's the 5Ks going? How's it? And they kept gently asking, but for me it was annoying. And at times I gave them some very sarcastic and impolite answers. Cause like, bro, why you pressuring me? Just be chill. Let's just say, how you going? You all right? Everybody good? Cool. You know?
Exactly.
And then my wife, knowing the beast that I am and how to handle me, at first, she started when I made my goal and I told her about it. She bought me a new running shoes, right? Because again, I real cheap on myself. I was just gonna use the old running shoe I had. But the running shoe also collected dust, Georgia and Emily. It sat right there,
Oh gosh.
right? And when she realized April reached, a whole 4 months of the year gone, and Dale has not signed up for one 5K yet, she bought a 20 medal hanger, a medal hanger to put on the
Oh
wall
Yeah.
my
till 20, right?
How
So,
sweet.
Dale. She
That was
is
a
a
good one.
keeper. Dale, we have to meet her. She's a keeper.
so
Definitely.
she bought that for me and put it there, and she's like, I know you want to do a 5K, so I just brought this so you can hang it. And let me tell you, that thing was like a dagger in my soul. I wanted to show a happy face, but I'm like, oh, now I actually have to do this thing. And in May, I signed up for my first 5K. I signed up for like 5 or 6 based
Yay.
on the weekends that I were available. And then I'm at number 19 now. I'm doing number 20 the
Wow.
next weekend, and I'm
You're number
actually
19
gonna go.
already? What are we in?
Yeah, yeah,
October?
yeah,
So on your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
20th, Dale, Emily and I are going to join you. When is it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's on Sunday. It's by UPIC. It's the Trinidad and Tobago Road Run and Come. They're actually having an 8K.
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 Oh, can I take back that promise?
You can't, because you made an open pledge on
This
this
is
call about
public.
discomfort that
Live.
you are choosing
What have I
to be
done?
uncomfortable, right? I'll send you both the link on WhatsApp. Please register.
Yes,
I look
please. Yes,
forward to
please.
seeing
Send
you
us.
there.
Yes,
Send us.
sir, we will.
Send
To
us.
save face. Emily, we're going to be there. Dale,
Yes.
but
Dale,
you
I
have
mean,
really
I loved.
challenged us. Go ahead, Emily. He's
Yeah,
challenging
I was
us. Go
gonna say,
ahead.
I just loved how this how you explain, how you unpacked the idea of embracing discomfort, and
Yeah.
along your journey in your story, there's so many places of discomfort. When you were
Mm-hmm.
doing so well at primary and in secondary, fell down the loop and decided that's not where you want to be, and
Mm-hmm.
figured out in your own way a way to get back to a place that you felt happy with and comfortable with
Yes.
and achieving, and getting, continuing to challenge yourself. I love the idea of health. Without health, you
Mm-hmm.
can't do anything, right?
Nothing.
You can't perform.
Correct.
You can't.
Right.
You're not going to be your best. You cannot be your best. Um, and it sounds, like a continuous journey for you in terms of how you position yourself to get to the next level for yourself, whatever that is, and the mindset of it. I loved how you got the support of your friends. I mean, and of course your very honest answers about, yeah, when we say things to people and then they start asking us about it because we haven't done it, we
Yeah.
all give them jobs, right? So it's human. So I mean, and the gentle little nudges of your wife. So it sounds like, all of this came together and you were able to achieve this yet again. And I mean, even imagining the 5 days of drinking must be a problem with our culture too. We have so
Mm-hmm.
many events. People
Yes.
expect us to have a drink sometimes, and that could be a difficult one when you're trying not to. So I'm
Correct.
sure there's always those challenges as well. I don't know if you want to say anything on that before we get to a wrap on this one in terms of the idea of embracing discomfort. And I hope people who are listening are thinking of the ways or places where they can position themselves to probably take on a little bit more discomfort to
Mm-hmm.
support
Correct.
Their own
whatever
growth.
challenge
Yes.
or growth area they want to have
Yes.
for themselves.
Correct. Correct. So Avion put a really nice message in the chat, and it's spot on. So well done, Avion. And what I would say is, discomfort, you're not gonna like it. but it depends on the life you want to live, whether it's a
Mm-hmm.
healthy life, whether it's a successful life, and even if it's a mediocre life, right? Because even if you just want to get by, do your job, close your laptop, go home, live to a relatively okay age, you still need to have some level of discomfort, because even living to the average age of 60, 70 years old, making the average amount, and living in a very simple way, you still have to have that discomfort and make the sacrifices to be on work on time and to still eat relatively healthy and to still be there
Yes.
for your family. Otherwise, you're going to lose it all, right? If you're not being a good parent or spouse or father, then even at a mediocre level, you're going to lose what you have. If it is
Yes.
you're not doing your job during that 8 to 4 properly, then you're gonna lose your job. If it is you're not eating healthy and you're just buying food every day and you're not exercising or anything, you're gonna fast track your demise, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I want to say and summarize is that even at race 19, on Sunday morning, I could have made every excuse in the world, right? We
Yes.
celebrated I came back from Houston at 1 a.m. on Friday morning, had a busy day all day Friday, preparing for my daughter's golden fourth birthday on Saturday. We took
Golden
them
fourth.
to, yeah, fourth on the fourth. Uh, we went,
Oh,
uh, we went, we went to ballet for 9 a.m. Then the other one had ballet at 10. Then gymnastics at 11. Then a kids' birthday party from 4 till like 8, 9 p.m. And then clean up and stuff. And I went to bed like midnight. So setting my alarm for 4 a.m. wasn't easy on Sunday morning. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if I had given to the comfort zone on that day, what would stop me from making that excuse for myself for the rest of the year? So what I
yeah,
want to summarize by saying, Emily, is three things, right? When you do the audit and you decide what you want to achieve, as much as I told you about giving yourself grace, if you're on a mission, you cannot give yourself a free pass. Hold
Right.
yourself to the highest standard possible. Otherwise, you'll get nominal results or not no results at all, and you'll be very
Mm-hmm.
disappointed. And then how encouraged would you be to challenge yourself again? But when you win and you really test it and you really give it your all,
Yes.
so if you're in control of your destiny and if you're making a promise to yourself, hold yourself to the highest standard and do not give in, especially on the most difficult days. Be unreasonable with yourself, be unreasonable with your schedule, and be
Yes.
very selfish to get what you're trying to achieve done. That's the first thing. That's the only way you could do 100% true litmus test to say, well, yes, this idea works or it doesn't. And that's what embracing discomfort is about. Now, while you do that, it's going to be really hard. So the second thing I want to touch on and summarize is the importance of Vusi Tembakwe's CMS:
mm,
coach, mentor, and sponsor. Now, some of us are fortunate to have coaches in our lives that either use a stick or a carrot. In my case, my wife knows when to use the stick or the carrot. She's my main coach. My CEO at work, he's my next coach. He used more stick than carrot, right? But either way, they push me and they challenge me, right? Whether
yeah,
it's personal goals I set for myself or it's the organizational goals or goals in the household or the marriage, they hold me at a high standard. And if you look at the Netflix series called Sprint or The Last Dance. Sprint is about Olympic athletes. The Last Dance is about Phil, the last coach of the Chicago Bulls when Jordan and Pippen was there.
okay,
And it talks about the role of the coach, that he shows up, he sets the field, he's organized and planned, and he drags that athlete out of bed even on their days that they don't want to push
Mm-hmm.
them to achieve the greatness they want. The mentor are the people that you go as their sounding board when you feel really low and you feel like giving up. So like Alex and Rudy, they kept nudging me, my best friends. It's important to have those people around, because when you're being unreasonable with yourself, they're gonna be there to help you, to coach you, to either motivate you or to pull you until you get off your tail, right? The
exactly.
sponsor, the sponsor is, while you're achieving your objective, live good. Your network is your net worth. And when you live good and you be honest and accountable and fair with people, they will speak speak your name in rooms that you're not in. And when you
Mm-hmm.
feel your lowest and you feel like giving up, a blessing or luck may hit you, but it's not
Mhm.
necessarily that. It's because you invested in your sponsors and they spoke in a room some months or years ago that an
Mhm.
opportunity is coming to you when you feel like giving up and you're at the lowest and you want to slip back in your comfort zone. Those are the things that keep you going. The last thing I want to say is, as we talk about discomfort today, just remember, as human beings, the greatest gift that God has given us is that free choice. We can
Yeah.
Mhm.
choose to do anything we want to do in this life, anything. However, it comes with a caveat. Marriage is hard, but so is divorce. Choose your hard. Eating healthy, living with chronic disease, both are hard. Choose your hard. So it's either you do that audit and you get to choose the discomforts that you want to avoid the hard that you don't want. So my
Exactly.
encouragement to you this Monday, and as we close off, as we begin the first week of Q4 2025,
Yes.
is really and truly think about your hard, choose your hard, do your audits, invest in your CMS, and either have a winning 2025 close off or set the stage for the best 2026 you can ever imagine.
Awesome,
That's,
Dale. There's
that's
nothing left to be said.
Emily, the only thing I want to do now is stretch because I'm getting ready for the race. I'm
For your 8K
stretching.
on Sunday.
Dale, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, your insight, your inspiration, your process in terms of how how you motivate yourself and how you keep things on track. I mean, those last bits in particular, those steps. If anybody follows them, they will succeed in whatever they choose to succeed in. And remember, there is no growth without discomfort, and to choose your hard because there's
Choose,
always a hard.
yeah, choose
I
your
love that.
hard. That's the sound bite of the day. Choose your hard.
Yes. Thanks, Dale. It's
Thank
a
you, Dale.
pleasure.
All right.
And
Thanks
everyone,
everyone
have
who
a great
joined.
week.
Take care, everybody.